free to check back.
Check, check, check. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday. Happy procedures validation is complete. Systems knowledge is complete. What is going on? Thank you for joining me for a last minute stream. Wasn't sure if I was going to stream or not. I'm really supposed to be jump seating on a flight to El Paso right now and back, but I decided since the winter storm is coming this weekend, I wasn't going to cut this break short. So we're going to do some streaming on this day here. So we still plan to do our semi-long haul Kai TAC MD-11 tomorrow. I'm thinking 4 o'clock Central. But today I said, you know what? Been doing some heavy R&P RNAV stuff in training. Why not hop in the sim and do an approach for fun? Palm Springs has some pretty cool RNAVs with the terrain around there. We got a short flight. I didn't realize the visibility was practically zero here at Sacramento. So if time permits, we might try to do the return leg and do another Cat 3 hand flowing with the HUD coming back into Sacramento. But that's only if time permitting. Thank you for coming early. I started early because I originally scheduled for 3 something, but then I realized I was off by an hour. So we're going to go ahead and rock and roll the Southwest Lone Star 1. So let's go. Osco Stick, good to see you, man. Great. Austin, good to see you, my buddy. Classic Jet Simpot in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Vodka's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, I did hear you too, man. The 2 clicks means I got you. Yeah, I heard you loud and clear. Joe Plains, Tower Ray, good to see you, man. What's up, Mr. Chicago? You're going to be busy lately, right, with all the DIs going on. Tuba Lubes is also here. Zach Dillis in the house. Jeremy Harvey, what's up, my man? Learning anything new in training? I've been doing nothing but learning, Jeremy. Nothing but learning. Today was the end of, I guess, part of the first of 3 phases of ground and sim training. All my ground is complete. My systems test is complete, and our procedures validation has been completed. So yeah, I'm learning a lot, man, and tell you what, I'm learning to love the 737. It's pretty dang cool. It still does a lot of things way out of the way out of automation, like the Airbus. Now I'm waiting for the T. Hold on, I'm texting my wife back real quick. I think I'm getting a T delivery, and then we're gonna get fired up here. We rocking the Borris sound packs. Chris Stuper, is there any other sound pack? Yeah, we're rocking Borris. We're rocking the Borris sound pack here today as well. This is the updated version of the Borris sound pack too. This is the release candidate from Borris, so it should be fully operational. I am going to hop outside. Give me 1 minute to grab my tea, and then we'll get this airplane fired up. So, matter of fact, let's hop into the airplane right now. And I tell you what, let's connect the ground power. We'll get the alignment stuff cooking right now. So we'll come up top here. We'll get the battery switch on. I love it. Sounds are coming all the way up. We got down, down, down. Let's go ahead and we've got 2 electric. We got 3 green lights. And let's go ahead and throw the ground power on bus. And let's get the 8 ears into align nav. And I'm going to set y'all right here on the jump seat. Listen to the beautiful airplane spin up. I'll be right back. All right, we back. Sorry about that. Miss V1's keeping us alive here, chat. Keeping us alive with the Earl Grey. No, what do we got? Mint Majesty? Yeah, Mint Majesty tea today. All right. Two Sasha Zoc. What's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Are you falling in love with the 7.3 in real life? I am. Oh, what? I've got echoing going on here? All right. Now we should be good. Shaq Oatmeal, my man. How you doing, buddy? If you want to have my first oh-ish moment with a private student teaching stalls, let's say those draws were retired. Oh, no. Shaq Oatmeal, my man. Well, glad you're down safe, man. Glad you're down safe. Hopefully everybody learned something from it, right? Man. Good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Keep the blue side up, you know what I'm saying? I've been in a burning building with more visibility than this. I mean, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Let's go ahead and get our overhead flow done. That's up. EEC's off. We'll do a warning test. Shaker 1. Shaker 2. Beautiful. We'll come down here and we'll go ahead and check our quantities and pressures. We got quantities set. No RF flag. Looking good there. Park brake is set. Let's go ahead and hop outside, do our pre-flight, which we're going to skip. And now we'll come back in here and do the rest of our flow. You should see that we are much more proficient about everything. Everything is down and guarded. Yaw dampers on. Nav data displays are up. Lights are set. What do we got for fuel tanks today? We're going to leave that for right now because we don't have anything. We don't have our fuel load on board, so we're just going to leave all the fuel tank pumps off right now. Everything looks good here. Coming down this side, emergency exit lights are armed. Get the window heaters on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming up. Those stays off. CVR test. Oh. Low vis and anchorage right now too? Oh, really? Should do an anchorage flight. Voice recorder is in auto. Concam, everything looks good. Spar lights set. Everything else looks good here. We'll come back to that. Logo lights on. Position light is steady coming across here. Nose wheel steering switch closed, guarded. Oh, beautiful. We'll throw terrain up. Tapes and 8s. Looking good. Let's go ahead. Flight director, auto throttle, flight director across the top. Coming back down. Let's go ahead and do RTO, reset, rate, and back to used. Looking good. We're coming across the panel here down to the center pedestal fire test. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. And the bell. Good. Now I wonder if I can actually... see, so that's how you do the proper fire test there too. You want to actually hit the bell warn cutout because you want to make sure that the bell cutout is functioning. So I've been doing the fire test a little bit wrong, but now that we know. So again, if you want to do a proper fire test, you're going to go ahead and click this over. Make sure you get your lights. 3, 4, 5, 6 and a light. Cancel. And then you have 7, 8, 9, 10. So that looks good. That all checks. You can have 10 lights in a bell, 11 lights in a bell, or 13 lights in a bell, depending if you're in a max and or if you have the new start-off switches, cutoff switches here that are not only on maxes, they have them on the NGs too, is the little push, or like the 787 style engine start levers. All right, that looks good. We'll get VHF1 on comm. Everything looks good there. We're not going to mess with the radios right now. We'll do our fire cargo. Beautiful. Gonna get a radio check on 22.8. Oh, that's good. Squawking 2000. We'll throw you on TARA radar trim. Rudder trim 0, 0. We're zeroed out. Looking good. 3 greens, my man. How you doing, man? Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. 3 greens. Hope all is well. Hope you're having a wonderful week out there in the great Australia land. Thank you for the support in the channel, man. Really do appreciate that. If you pick a membership up from 3 greens, make sure you shout them out and say thank you. Looks like Mr. Jeremy Harvey got a membership, so that's always a pleasure. How many attempts? Oh wow, this is not what I thought it was. That's funny. Never mind. Sorry, I took a sip of my tea, and it was definitely not tea. We're going to be running on jet fuel, man. That is coffee. How many attempts to pass the SV? 1. Just one. And I got a 95%. So you're talking about the written test? What's the SV? You can't. I don't know. I don't have any more brain power for these acronyms. But the written, I got 95%. I missed one because I just, it was a stupid question. And my answer was also correct, but it was just the way it was worded. And then I missed a couple more, like, meh. But 95% on that. All right, let's go ahead and get programming the box here. Let's go ahead and throw up our program cam. Let's go ahead and load this up. We'll go pause and knit. We're going to put in SMF as the ref. Let's go ahead and next page. Bring you back, IRS mode, route page. We're going Sacramento to Palm Springs. We haven't been there in a long time. I do have a great any-build scenery for Palm Springs, and they have a great little approach situation down there. The terrain is nice and everything, so it'll be fun to shoot this approach. Oh, systems validation. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you got a small brain today, Turks. I did SV today and the procedures val, and so my brain is cooked. So I just want to sit back, relax, and do some simming while I can. Let's go ahead and do a flight plan request, which you guys will find interesting in the schoolhouse. We don't have any simulation of ACARs, so we have to do everything manually. But having this like this is very cool. It is very realistic. I thought that the ACARS quote-unquote simulation or uplink and stuff that PMDG had was just, like a, say random, but not, I didn't know that's how the real plane actually handled it. Like we do flight plan requests and all that. It's how our jets do the same exact thing. So it's pretty cool. I have rough landing at San Diego. Ooh, we have to do San Diego for sure.
646, we're going to push back face west.
Jeez, they're going to be on the ground before I even get power to the airplane. All right, route uplink is ready. Let's go ahead and load you. And while it's loading, we can bring this, I guess we can bring the iPad over here. There we go, we'll bring the iPad here. And let's go to weight and balance. Let's go ahead and load plane from SimBrief. That's going to give us, is that going to give us center tank fuel? Dang it, I brought it over too soon. It is not going to give us any center tank fuel, so we'll go left forward tank pump on, and actually we'll consider to load it up. We'll just go ahead and get all that. We'll throw that into start. Let's take a listen. Look at this. You can't even see, there's a 727 next to me. Can't even see him. Can't even see him. Did I told you my brother will be a year newbie? He just waiting class date. Really, Gus? For real? Nice, man. Sneaking into the washroom just to say go Broncos. Hey, Gus, dude, what a game, man. We had some crazy football this weekend. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, no. RVR is less than one gate. It really is, man. All right, we got the APU up and running. We'll start a chrono. Say it's been for 2 minutes. We'll get the APU on bus. That looks good. All right, now we can go ahead and start programming the box here. So let's activate that. Execute departure arrival. Hey, American, what runway are you taking off of? Probably 17.
17 right.
Right. Okay, 17 right is what we'll plan. 17 right. Let's bring up our flight plan. We're on 17 right. Foothill 3 departure. Frankfurt execute. Let's go ahead and go over. Now, I'm going to show you guys something absolutely insane. So the amount of briefing, Torx, are you still here? Yeah. The amount of briefings that we do is asinine. Absolutely asinine. We brief the same thing like 3x over, at least in the schoolhouse, and it's absolutely, it's way too much in my opinion. You're so focused on briefing that I don't know if anybody's actually checking anything. Anyway, out to Ove. I'll do a real-world briefing for you guys as soon as we get this loaded up. It looks like we're going right into Sizzler 4 for PSP. So I'm going to look at my real-world charts real quick for Palm Springs. What are the winds doing down there right now? Winds are not provided. Oh, yeah, they're variable at 3. So we're going to land 3-1. And we're going to do the RNAV. Not the Zulu. RNP Yankee is what we're going to do. We're going to do the RNP Yankee, 3-1 left, and we're going to actually do it. Let's do it from the full fix. Let's do it from Fern. So departure arrival, Palm Springs, RNAV, RNP Yankee approach. Please be in here. Why are you not in here? Do I not have the RNP Yankee in here? I did RNAV Yankee. Fern transition, Sizzler 4 off of Sivu. Nope. That's to the alternate. Off of Ove. Alright, execute that. Alright. That all looks good for the route. Legs. Yep, alright, perf and knit. Let's go ahead and load this. We're going to bring the zero fuel weight in. We're going to have a reserves. We look at our fuel ladder. We'll add, what do we got here? 24 plus 3,000. Call it 5, 4, 5, 7. Let's call it 6,000 pounds. Cost index. What do we index today? At 50. Cost index of 50. Cruising over there at flight level 370. Really? That seems a little bit aggressive. Alright, 370 execute. N1 limit page. We're going to do, for Borris, we're going to do 27K bump. Right? No D rate. Just for sim purposes, and I've been doing D rates. We will do flaps 1. And we'll bring our trim over 23.5, 4.9 on the trim, no descent pass, that's fine. We'll use QRH V-speeds, which is a whole nother. I didn't know this was real. I thought this was a simism right here. But this is actually true to the real airplane, which, hey, the more you know, right? I thought, oh, QRH, I thought this was something PMDG put together for being in the sim. No, this is exactly how it works in the real airplane. There is a time and a place that we use QRH V-speeds when we don't have ACARs, and that is a whole nother situation. When you use QRH V-speeds, that's when you fill this page out, which I guess technically, since we're using QRH V-speeds, like if I put something here, it should delete the V-speeds. Yep, see, that's correct. Runway slope, let's just say it's down 0.1. Matter of fact, it's probably on here. Is it on here like the real thing? Let me see. We could find runway slope information on the TPS, but I don't know if it's going to be on this one here. No, I don't have they don't have it formatted like we do. Don't believe. Oh, that's a lie. No, they don't. Yeah, they don't have the slope on here. At least it's not formatted where it is for us, so I don't see it. Yeah, these are all headwind additives. All right. So, but if you wanted to do that, it's dry. And actually, technically, since the visibility is so low, we'll call this wet skid resistant because it's grooved. And now we'll go ahead and load in the V-speeds. 38, 44, 53. We'll set 153 up here. And then we'll take a look at the runway heading for Sacramento off 17 is going to be 168. We'll dial these in. 168, 153, heading 168. $168 across the board will be LNAV, VNAV, and no ATC online, so let's just set flight level 370 top altitude. All right, 37 is set. Does it give us the elevation of Palm Springs in the bottom of the flight plan? No, it doesn't. So we'll set 370 up here. And then Palm Springs approach, let me just 430. We'll set 450. All right, cool. So we're all set up. It's been a couple minutes. Let's get some air to the passengers. APU bleeds are coming on. Now we're getting some air. Now we're cooking. So I'm going to give you guys a real-world briefing, and you tell me if this is excessive or not. I mean, it's not excessive. I mean, operator pays, operator pays, so operator gets it the way operator wants it, but it's kind of wild. All right, where's my first page of the sim brief takeoff reports? Takeoff weight. It's going to be a little bit different because I'm using that's fine. All right, we'll do it like this. So let's go ahead and simulate. Say we're done. We do magic barrel ref is set. We're just finishing the boarding process here. Mark this down for real world briefing stream 1. Tutco, thanks for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you, man. Always streaming when us normal people are working. Joining the Force Feedback crew. Moza yoke this week. Oh man, Tutco, that's awesome, man. You picked a great week to get a Moza yoke because there's going to be a big storm in this weekend. So a lot of snow, a lot of nonsense. So enjoy it, man. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Thanks for the terrible towel again, man. Appreciate you. I'm going to hang it up behind me when I get the podcast set up. So more on that later. All right. Real world brief. Tell me this isn't a word salad. Starting. Let's time ourselves. And I'm going to cut it short, too. I still don't know how to work the freaking chrono over here. Oh, my word. Okay, here we go. Ready? Go. All right, so we are Sacramento, Palm Springs. We're Southwest 357. We're going to be departing on 7 right on the Foothill 3 out to Frankfurt, direct Ove. Ove for the Sizzler 4. That brings us to Fern for the approach transition to 3-1 left. You right? You agree with that? I do. Moving into legs verification. This is when both people are going to be looking at their, one person is looking at the plan view and one person is looking at their iPad. For their flight plan. We're going to step through this. So we've got, I'll throw data up on my screen as well. All right, it's going to be Foothill, followed by Grode, Frankfurt, Ove, Sasha, Kearney, Rabble, Galerno, at or above 240, Sizzler, between 200 and 230, Maximo, at or below flight level, or excuse me, just below flight level 190, High Top, 16,000 foot, Kirko 280 at 16, Geeby 280 at 15, Moron 280 at 14, Fern 11,000. Fern leads us into the RNAV approach. We'll brief it now since it's a short flight. It's going to be Fern at 11, Palm Springs at or above 9, a Jetty at or above 8, Ivali at or above 7, Fimid at or above 6, Geeler at or above 5, Mac Haxis 3,500 or above, iPoj 2,500 or above, Jokum 2,300 or above. Then we're on the glide path 3 degrees down for the final approach inbound. And then we have the missed approach, Tammy, Bantpe, thermal, and hold. We don't have to brief that. That's the legs verification. You agree with that? I do agree with that. Total distance is 431. Make sure it matches the paperwork. That checks. Let's go ahead and route copy that has been completed. Let's move into our performance verification. We're looking at a gross weight of a zero fuel weight of 129.9, reserves of 6,000, cost index of 5,000, cruising down there flight level 370. Transition altitude is flight level 180. We're doing a 27K bump today. Standard climb, outside air temperature is 8. We are not derating the thrust. We're looking at 27K bump and ones of 99.2. This is based off of a flaps 1 takeoff from runway 17 right, full length, no intersection, speeds 138, 144, 153, grossing out at 144.3, which is below our assumed and below the max. We have a landing limitation. CG 23.5, trim set 4.9 units. That's based off of QRH V speeds with winds, skid resistant runway, a runway slope, and no derated N1s with engine out acceleration altitudes of thousands. All right, performance verification has been complete. Now get this. Now we do performance review. Okay, performance review. Well, the winds are calm, so we don't have a headwind or a tailwind. Zero fuel weight is, I gotta go back here. Zero fuel weight is 129.9. The thrust rating, which we just briefed, we'll brief it again, 99.2. That verifies plus or minus 5 within the 0.5 of the TPS. And a final takeoff weight of 144.3. All right, and we still have one more brief to do after that. So that took 3 minutes, and that was abbreviated and fast, but there's also more to that. So anyway, we'll play the game. Let's go back to map page. That's going back down. Let's go ahead and we're on buses. Everything is pretty much good to go. Let's close up shop and get out of here. All right, let's go ahead and release the ground power. 3 greens, thank you for the 7 Aussie, man. Appreciate you. V1 South America tour V2 went. Need to see you slam the engine into Santos Dumont. Ooh, 3 greens. You know what? I sure would love to, man. We actually did we do Santos Dumont recently? Not recent. I thought we did it when the NG came out. I thought we did. But yeah, I would love South America, man. I love flying down there, dude. Absolutely love flying down there. Let's go ahead and release the jetways. Let's go ahead and all doors are closed and armed. Let's go ahead and arm it. Ground person comes up, they talk to us, they do their things. Let's go ahead and get ready to run the before start checklist above and below the line, which is not technically procedure. Lights out, anti-collision light is coming up. Verify hydraulic system is pressurized 3000. It is. Come back over here, door lights are out. We are looking good. Before start checklist above and below, please. What do you guys do if you have a runway change? Reset jet. It's the same exact thing, but longer. Don't ask me what happens if you have a tailwind, an unplanned tailwind. We actually have to do math. I kind of want to like go over it, but it's I don't have the brain power to do it today. It's insane. You literally have to stop and pull over and take 10 minutes to rebrief. It's like it's really blast from the past, man. It's when I first thought, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this wrong. They're like, no, that's right. This is what we do. I'm like, okay. Company pays, it's company's way. I'm not going to complain, but I will tell you what, it is a whole lot more than what we used to do. We used to just uplink the data, verify it, and you're good to go. Yeah, for the tailwind, though, yeah, new TPS, right. Yeah, you can get a new TPS, that's true. But in Schoolhouse, you're getting a Schoolhouse, absolutely right. All right, before start checklist all the way through. Parking brake set, oxygen check, we didn't check it. Navigation, transfer, and display switch is normal and auto. Window heat's on, pressurization is set. Terrain display selected, MCP is set. We've got 6853, 68370 set. Displays set. Auto brake, RTO. Fuel quantity and distribution, I got 14,300. Fuel CDU checked. Engine start levers cut off. Transponder TARA. Aileron rudder trim 00. Departure brief complete. Fasten belts on. Fuel panel set. Flight forms AML onboard accepted aircraft is 60 Alpha. PEDs are off below the line. Probe heat's on. Hydraulic panel set. Doors, windows closed and locked. Anti-collision light is on. Before start checklist is complete. My goodness. Sacramento traffic southwest 357 push back off Bravo 14. Alt P, brakes released. Let's get out of here.
About time.
Company pays, company's way. Oh my gosh. How are we going to find our way out of here? Sorry, I've been heads down for like 10 minutes because I was trying to give you guys a realistic brief. I'm back with the chat now. Let's see. At least Mentor Pilot would be happy with the long briefings. Jeremy, they're insane, dude. We literally, this is not an exaggeration, we brief the winds, if it's a headwind or tailwind, 3 times. Like, why do we have to... Whatever. It is, it is. Please wait till ATC says ready for change to flight plan. Oh, my gosh. Chat, how are we going to find... we got to get our HUD set here. We're going to do a HUD. We're going to be... we'll be IMC. Standby primary. I've been doing some HUD work too, which is cool. This is Sacramento, Defiant Prawn. This is Sacramento. It is socked in here. Holy. You've also been working with FCTIs for the last 2 weeks. You'll be working with line pilots from around out, more familiar with how the line works. True. Very true. But my upgrade captain, I mean, he was saying it's pretty much what we do. I'm like, all right. Because I'd always try to get the scoop. Like, okay, so this is schoolhouse method versus, line. Is pretty much everything has been line method so far. I should show you guys a no ACARS tailwind for takeoff. It's borderline comical, which we can do it because the sim brief actually shows it. All right, you're good to start. You ready to start engines? Start them up. Grounding 2. Let's take a listen to Borris audio. %, fuel on. %, Tutco. 100% agree with you, Bet. 100%. Why is mine yellow? I don't know, Vodka. Whenever I'm in, oh. That's why I wasn't in live time, dude. Live time, Vodka. Thank you. Live time. I was in like some weird-ass sunrise. Way better. Okay, good start on 2. Isolate, ventilate, grounding 1. Love it. All right, we got the auto cut out. So, good start on 1. Captain, we don't want to back pressure the APU. Auto. That is set. All right, I got the salute. Flaps 1. Flight controls. Barrel's a little off too. There we go. Hard F start check. Anti-ice is. You know what? With this visibility, we actually need it. And temperature. All right, anti-ice is on. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds. Generators aren't on. Captain flow right there. That's why I missed it. Air conditioning and bleeds set. Flap set. Flight controls checked. Recall. I got 6. Check. Taxi check, F start check's complete. And Sacramento ground, Southwest 357 taxi, runway 17 right, Sacramento. We're gonna go out via Yankee, right turn on Alpha. Change the weather on the briefing, yep. So if it's not within 2 degrees, since we're doing our N1s have changed, we're 98.9, we'd have to verify they're within 0.5 of the TPS with a 27K bump. So, and with engine anti-ice on.
Sacramento American, 66 for 1 up 17 right.
Delta fan, no, we're actually on Veo today. Look at that Southwest right there. So, Once we get, I'll try to brief. We'll do one more. We have one more performance brief to do, chat. We're just kind of coasting straight ahead here. We're not done. We still have a performance brief with our load closeout. All right, so first things first, we got to verify zero fuel weight, 129.9. We're below. Yep, that checks here, 129.9. We'll go to the N1 limit takeoff page. All right, Cap, we got our final closeout numbers here. Our winds haven't changed. It's still 0 wind. Our weights, we grossed out at a gross weight of 144.3. Or excuse me, a gross weight of 144.1, which is below our takeoff weight of 144.3. N1s, we'd have to verify our N1s for this setting, which I don't think, is there an N1 on this sim brief format?
American 646, departing 17 right, runway heading.
I don't see an N1 readout for that, so we'd have to actually verify. We don't want to taxi out on the runway. But if they're within 0.5, all right, cool. Briefing is complete. Yeah, that 727's taken off, and I cannot see anything over there. Keep your eyes on the road, 3 greens. My goodness, we should have left Palm Springs to come here. And this is based on flaps 5, so we're using QRHV speeds with flaps 1. Which format do I prefer in SimBrief? I actually like the UAL 18 one. That's my favorite. You ever try playing VR? I did a little bit at XP72's house, but I don't need. I'm not interested in VR for full-time streaming purposes. For home sim would be kind of neat, but you know, for full-time streaming purposes, I'm content like this. This is default FS24, no weather mod. Correct. This is default FS24 real weather live time. Which one did Spirit use? Gus, they used the closest one to Spirit was UAL 18. Yeah, Turks. That's what I said. And we're below. Yeah, you get the final closeout numbers. We're below. We're good to go. Your right throttle looks a bit higher. It might have not been. I might have not had it right at idle. What's your status on the 7.3 right now? I am a third of the way through. If I split my training into thirds, I am a third of the way through. Well, I guess really if I split it into fourths, I'd be halfway through. I have 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks remaining. But what was really cool is we got to get into our sims early because there was some availability. So, I mean, there's a lot of sims at my new operator. My previous airline, we had 3 sims and a check ride for a type ride. This we have, I don't know, like 9 grounds and trainers, and then we have, I don't know,
we're direct
close to
now,
double-digit sims. I love that grinding on the windows, the resonance. Gray Austin, my man, thank you for the $5 super chat. Just want to say thank you. I recently purchased the Fenix. I've learned so much from you. I love flying a beautiful plane. Gray Austin, my man, thank you for the $5 super chat. I miss flying the Fenix. The Fenix is such a wonderful airplane. We're definitely going to fly it. I bet you will fly it a lot more than I anticipated. Even though I'm on the 7.3 and like the 7.3 now, the Fenix is just a great airplane, man. But thank you for the $5 super chat. Glad you're enjoying it. What's the route today, Aviation Dude? We're Sacramento. Did I not post it? Sacramento to Palm Springs. Could you imagine a Fenix Classic? That'd be my ultimate favorite. All right. Sacramento traffic, southwest 357, going to be departing runway 17 right, full length. Sacramento traffic. All right, let's do our before takeoff to the line. Takeoff data and plugs. Closeout received and checked. Flaps 1, green light. Takeoff brief complete. Stab trim 4.89 units. HUD set. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds. Auto and set. Below the line, MCP-ND checked runway 17 right. PA is complete. Lights, we'll get those right now. Before takeoff checklist is complete. We got the LED lights. Those are coming up. That's coming up. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe we can put the HUD away for this departure. We'll rock it. You guys have a very good sim facility? Yeah, it's pretty incredible, man. Except get this, my first like official sim week is in the third party. Or first official sim. It's on an offsite location. Superfly, nice to see you back. Fly USMC, how you doing, my man? Thank you for the support, buddy. Welcome in. Thank you for the $10 super chat. And for those of you that are wondering where the MD-11 long haul is, don't worry, I have not forgot. Tomorrow, I'm thinking 4 p.m. Central. We'll start. I'll schedule it after the stream. MD-11 long haul. We'll have a lot more time to sit back and pick my brain about training. We'll watch a green dot. It'll be a great night. We're going to go Hong Kong to Kai Tech in the MD-11 tomorrow. So, all right. Who's ready to rock and roll? So one thing I find interesting, too, is when we say Toga, the pilot monitoring will then look over, to the, I guess, pilot flying's side, and we'll verify the thrust set here. So it'd be like Toga, 99.1. I'm going to verify it's on the ND. So with that said, let's get some Borris audio works for blast off. Spool them up 40. Yoga's in chat. 27K bump. Highly illegal. Let's go. Thrust set, 99.1. $80.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Fly with. Alright, we won't cheat since most of my training will be HUD-less. Let's go ahead and stay HUD-less. Flaps up. After takeoff checklist. Sacramento traffic, southwest 357 at 2,100. Left turn, we're en route to Foothill. Last call, Sacramento. All right, flaps up after takeoff checklist. Up, no lights. Gear is coming off. Off. We'll leave the engine anti-ice on just for a few more seconds. Let's go on the departure line. Beautiful break out there. That was a really low fog layer. It's kind of sweet. All right, after takeoff checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and get rid of the engine anti-ice. N1s are moving. That's very good. Foothill. Oh, listen to those engines humming. Good thing they don't have a Cowboys livery. No kidding, Key 6. No kidding, dude. Chad, I might have to start simming from the right seat. I'm starting to get used to this view over here. Now it's feeling weird sitting in the left seat.
Traffic, flight 1759, pushing back.
Alright, straight line from here. Autopilot, or Command A. Let's enjoy the sights and sounds. If they had a Cowboy livery, it would never touch down. Oh, snap, Phoenix. McShiggity Pad, how you doing, buddy? Welcome in. Where'd we just take off from? McShiggity Pad. We just took off from Sacramento, California. SMF, we're headed down. Short flight. It's only, shoot, we only have 117 miles. Or no, that's not. We only have 400 miles en route. So short flight down to Palm Springs for an R&P approach. We'll see what the weather does by the time we get to Palm Springs. If it's clearing up here in Sacramento, might just keep it at one leg today. Can we hear about some impressions of real-world 7.3 so far? Thrust set. Yeah. It's great. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. It's the closest to a 727 that I'll ever get. One of the first things I noticed too is I'm obviously not flying a yoke-driven aircraft in what's it been, almost 10 years. How heavy the yoke actually is. The yoke is pretty darn heavy, and I'm starting to make some adjustments to the profiles for our Brunner. But I'll tell you this: even if I had, if I was making Mozas for you guys, and even for my Brunner, if I put the force on the yoke that the real airplane has, my desk would wobble quite a lot. You have to have a really firmly mounted setup if you want to do actual control pressures from the 7.3. One thing I did notice is also how much more movement you need, I guess, in the airplane. Like, I'm used to the Airbus where it's, hey, don't induce any pilot-induced oscillations, let the airplane do its thing. It always drove me nuts when you see guys with Airbus videos and they're just, stirring the pot with their side stick. They don't realize that half those inputs aren't even really registering. But the 7.3, different ball game, especially in the sim. We're doing some inclement weather flying and stuff like that, and just getting used to manipulating a yoke again was it was refreshing. Refreshing, if I can say that. The smaller flight deck reset jet, I'll be honest with you, man. It's tight. It's definitely tight. However, this seat does go back pretty far. One of the biggest downsides is there's no, the seat is mechanical. There's no which you guys probably already knew, but not having an electric seat is pretty sad. But when I put the seat all the way back, I actually have a decent amount of leg room. And, I mean, I'm 6'1", so you could spin the pedals back here. Like, this is actually, that's pretty cool that it's actually, they even have the pedal. You see how that works there, and you pull this thing out and it locks in one of those holes, so you can set your pedals where you want them. So as far as getting comfortable, I'm more comfortable than I thought I was going to be, but of course it doesn't compare to the Airbus. It does not compare as far as comfort goes. Another large surprise for me, and I mentioned this a little bit, I think it was the last time we flew the MD-11 actually, the Max, there's something about being in the Max cockpit that I like a lot. I love the old screens, and I'm anti-screen. I forgot to blank this. Anti-screen on Sim World, but having that Max very large MFD, being able to throw the VSD up on there, like, if we throw the VSD on this, oh, they don't allow us on this one? Maybe it's an option. I don't think I have it enabled. I guess it's not enabled, but you throw the VSD on the NG screen here, it's so tight. It's so tight. It's you can't even really see. I mean, you can see, but your map display. Transition. Oh, we forgot lights and everything. Actually, transition lights. We forgot the chime at a 10,000 feet. We get the wing light, logo lights off. But yeah, the Max is pretty good. And there's just, it feels, I don't know, it's the same cockpit, but because there's less going on, this panel is moved, down here. There's no lower ND. It just feels more spacious, even though it's really not. It's just an optical illusion. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. VSD is an option in the FMS. Oh, let's find that option, because we're gonna want that for this approach.
The traffic software. 1755 departing 17 right. Full 1 departure.
That's gonna be in displays, isn't it? Yeah, that's going to be on displays. So let's go back. Aircraft displays? Or is it equipment? VSD. Here we go. Here, I'll show you. We're gonna use this for our RFP approach. So there we go. Syncing your heading bug, another thing that drives me nuts. So this doesn't look terrible. It actually looks bigger to me here than in the real airplane. Might just be a perception thing when you're sitting in the actual cockpit, but you can see you've got some info here, but the Max, you have a whole VSD is really big. Then you have a full-size map screen still. And it's really neat because when we were doing some terrain practice, some flying in terrain, and we were in the sim, the Max sim, which was really cool, and I had the VSD up with the terrain, and so we're doing an RNP approach with the terrain, and then you had the weather up on this part, which was cool. So you could actually split weather and terrain on the same display, which is pretty neat, because traditionally you're just going to have one or the other, right? You're either going to have weather up or terrain up, or one pilot's going to be in terrain, one's going to be in weather. But it just feels, the Max just feels cozy in the real airplane, or in the real sim, I should say. But the NG is awesome. I mean, the NG cockpit, straight out of it, I feel like I'm in a 727. I love flipping switches. I love running the overhead panel. I love it. I mean, it's fun. So it keeps you busy. It definitely keeps you busy. There's always something that you really can be doing. Something I've always wanted to know about the 737 is, why is the lower display meant to be left blank in flight? Because the theory behind it is, if something were to go wrong, it will populate. And if it populates, then you'll see it easier. Whereas if you leave this display up, what you might get is inverse video, or you might get an amber display, and yeah, you'll see it, but guys, we're missing it. So the theory is to blank the lower ND. That way, if there is a fault, this pops up and it really catches your eyes, like, hey, that's not normal, what's going on? So that's the theory behind that. It blows my mind that there is no synoptic page or anything like that. Did you set 510 TOD? No, we don't do that. What we do is set 2 nautical mile ring around the final approach point, which we'll do here. Once we get to cruise, shoot, are we going? Let's recruise it. We don't need to go all the way up there. Progress. Shoot, see, I need my VNAV page. Throwing me off here. Let's go to 31. We'll recruise 31. 31. Once we get to our, there we go, top of climb, much sooner. Once we get to top of climb, we'll go over all that. We'll go over what we set up for the approach and all that stuff. Whenever you feel up to it, I'd love to see you do a 737 failure stream. A fight sim guide. We've done a few. We've already done hydraulic failure A, hydraulic failure B. But we will do more. my takeaway on the systems of the 7.3, honestly, they're very, let's say simple. They're very straightforward. I mean, it's a straightforward design. It's really had the kinks ironed out of it since the 60s, 50s. There's not a whole lot of complexity to it in terms of comparing it to, you know, your modern Airbuses and all the electrical and laws and this and that. I'm going to go through some clouds here. We'll throw the engine anti-ice on. But overall, it's a pretty simplistic system-wise. So it's not terribly hard to learn. Is the MAX 10 supposed to be getting ECAM sort of thing? I don't think so, Arson, because an ECAM, the last of my knowledge, the ECAM would require a new type rating. And if you require a new type rating, no one's going to buy it. How's the 7900 XTX treating you? Is it worth the jump from a 4080 Founders? Yeah, my 7900 XTX has been great. One DSC. I have had, Mamba. Definitely better than my 4080. Not as good as, say, a 5090, I'm sure, but I really haven't had any issues with my 7800 XTX. Topanta, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, sir. Says, hey, how does the anti-ice system work? I crashed into O'Hare with manual thrust on. Final and anti-ice on. Both engines failed. I think I was on idle. So, Topanta, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk icing real quick. So, you guys always say, well, you crashed on X-Plane because you didn't have the wing anti-ice on. Captain upgrade that I'm flying with, been on the airplane for 5 years. He says in 5 years he's used wing anti-ice one time. This airplane just does not accumulate ice very much. All right. Even when they get a little bit of icing on the wiper blade, he says normally they just throw the engine heats on and leave it. Very, very rare do they actually use the wing anti-ice. It just the design doesn't pick up that much icing. Also, when you do turn on the wing anti-ice, you're only heating the 3 inboard slats, which would be 1, 2, and 3. You do not heat the outboard, and you do not heat the inboard flap. You do not heat the tail, the empennage, anything like that. So the overall, I guess, just way the air flows on the airplane, I don't know what Boeing did, but it is not a super high. It doesn't accumulate ice super rapidly. I'm not saying that, you know, you just fly it through an ice storm and not turn anything on and be fine, but that's the word on the street. But how does it work when you turn the engine anti-ice on like we have now? Depending for an NG or MAX, it's going to take hot bleed air from the 4th or 9th stage compressor or the 5th and 10th stage compressor if you're in a MAX, and it's going to run that hot air. Engine anti-ice is going to run the hot air to this part right here, this cowl lip. All right, and the MAX has something called core heat as well, and that's something that you do not control from the cockpit. But if you look at a MAX motor, that CFM the CFM LEAP, if you look at the LEAP, you'll notice that big N1 fan, you see that all that core section, that is susceptible to icing, but it has auto core icing that you cannot control nor manipulate from the flight deck. So that will turn on or off dependent upon its own scheduling. But if you do turn on engine anti-ice, you're going to heat the external cowl lip here, and that's to prevent ice from building up and breaking off and being ingested to the engine and causing damage when it gets chewed up in the engine. The problem the MAX is having right now, and the NG to some extent, is this acoustic lining here. This acoustic lining is getting so hot that it's actually becoming frangible and coming apart. And when it comes apart, where does it go? It gets sucked right into the engine. So now there's an AD on the airplane saying that if do not turn on engine anti-ice unless you are actively in icing conditions. Contrast from when I flew the Airbus, it was turn on the engine anti-ice even if you think you're going to be going into icing conditions. Just turn it on, leave it on. For the Boeing 7.3, the MAX especially, it says do not turn it on unless you are actively icing, because if you don't, it could heat up and could cause further damage. The wing anti-ice, same concept. It's going to take bleed air from 4th or 9th or 5th or 10th, and it's going to run it along a piping system here with almost look like little straws, and it's going to bump hot bleed air to the leading edge 3 inboard slats, and then when the slats are extended, well, even when they're retracted, it's going to vent overboard. So say the slats are out and you have the heat on, it will vent overboard right along the leading camber of the wing here, also keeping this warm, also keeping any ice from accumulating on the vortex generators as well. So it's kind of neat how they aerodynamically did their wizardry at the Boeing factory, and you know, have the overboard venting. It does more than just like warm up the piece of metal. It warms it up, it vents overboard, and keeps the leading camber warm as well. But it does take a lot of performance. It will auto trip off as well, which is something I learned. I didn't know that there's 3 magnetic switches on the overhead, there's only 2 on this panel. One of them is the wing anti-ice, the other is the yaw damper. So these switches can trip off without any pilot action. Everything else has to be moved manually. But if let's say you had the wing anti-ice on the ground, you bump the thrust up for takeoff, it'll it'll sense overpressure, and it'll actually trip the wing anti-ice off. But good question. So the icing situation that we crashed on X-Plane 12 was complete malarkey. I had 31 set. Let's set 370. Let's set 310. 310 VNAV path. All right, we're cruising. We're looking good now. And let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off. You're now free to move about the cabin. Get those free Southwest snacks. Honestly, the bus isn't that complicated. For some reason, the avionics ventilation system. Yeah, well, it's not complicated, but you have all those control laws, right? Which I don't know if... I asked a guy, a 10-year Airbus guy in the cafeteria, we were talking. And he was like, I don't know what he didn't know what like the alternate stabilities and protections were. I did notice, which I appreciated, man, this site picture looks amazing with these clouds. There was a lot of broad brush painting at the schoolhouse with some stuff. Same with the 7.3 systems too. You know, you're a pilot, you need to know how to fly the airplane and manipulate what you can manipulate. So a lot of broad brush, staying out of the weeds, which I appreciate. Although the, alternate stabilities and protections, I feel like something you probably should know after being on the airplane for that amount of years, but... You mean the plane doesn't get covered in ice 2 inches every time it flies through cloud below 10C? No. Apparently not, Turks. Now, again, I'm not speaking from my personal experience yet, but from the guy that's been flying it for 5 years, that is what he said. When is the Boeing Sim cockpit coming? Soon, Osco Stick. I need an overhead, man. And if you could pick now, you're picking 7.3 or 320. I'm picking whatever gets me to the base I want to live in, man. What do you think about the near crash out of MCO with UAL Neo? Dude, 2 Neos almost biting the dust, like back to back. There was one in LAX, almost had a tail strike, was a 3G landing. That's pretty dang firm. I don't know what happened there. Maybe just late flare, wind gust, who knows. The Orlando one was, it looked like that guy just let go of the side stick, to be honest with you. They were landing in pretty gusty conditions. Wind were gusting up to 40, but it was right down the pipe. Almost right down the pipe. I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback, but yeah, one of the nose wheels just popped off the rim. It left the race and the bearing there, which was interesting. But they're like, oh, is it mechanical? I don't think so. It looked like on that landing, it looked like the pilot flying touchdown and let go of the side stick. It's like, I'm down, and then that nose, boom, just crashed down. I could be wrong though. Just what it looks like. Juan, no, we're actually on Iveo. We got a couple aircraft flying along with us today on Iveo. Fly the plane until you pull off the runway. 100%, Turks, 100%. A lot of people stop flying the second the main's touchdown. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Always fly it to the ground. Key 6 says the LA one looked like they got enough float and pitched up. Yeah, I mean, they didn't hit the tail, Key 6, which is amazing. I mean, they were probably an inch. So, yeah. Can the RF-73 do RMP .1? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Speaking of RMP, it's time to start setting up for our approach, because it's going to happen that fast. Oh, I'm over here clicking my range knob. So, you have control let's go ahead and set up for the RMP, then we'll talk about the MD-11, Jaffo, because I do like the MD-11. We're going to fly it tomorrow. Long haul, green dot, snacks, all the things tomorrow, man. So, and if you want to fly along, we will also be on Iveo as well. Tokyo to Kai Tak. All right. For the RNAV, we're going to kind of work through our reverse check here, which is going to be kind of different because this is an old FMC layout. Let's see if I can find the stuff I want to find. We've already loaded the departure on arrival. We've already loaded it. We've already verified the leg, so we can actually skip that, which is pretty nice. For the fix page, which is opposite, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to put in the fix. I'll actually bring up the chart here so you guys can see it. Arrival. So someone asked, do we put fix rings around certain fixes? No, we put a fix ring around the FAF, just for situational awareness. So in this case, or the FAP, not to be confused, they do mean different things. Final approach point is Jokem, Jokem, and we're going to put a distance of 2 nautical miles. What we also need to do for the RNAV is a couple other things. We're going to go to the progress page, we're going to go to nav status page. Ooh, we're going to go to page 2, and we're going to turn VOR updating off because we do not want to revert to that, or FMC speed, or excuse me, VNAV's speed. We want to keep it in path. So we're going to turn VOR updating off. We're also going to go progress page 4, and this is where we're going to enter our vertical RNP value of 125. Interesting. I'm going to take it there. Not sure where we'll... oh yeah, vertical RMP of 125. And what is our 0.1? We could do a 0.3, which is a little less tolerance. Because this airplane is so old, I'm not sure what it's capable of. Let's do 0.3. RMP, well actually we're getting 0.07 right now, so we definitely could do it. But for fun, let's bump the minimums up a little bit and let's fly this off of an RMP 0.3. So I've got required RMP 0.3 I've entered, vertical RMP of 125. Our minimums for RMP 0.3 are going to be 718, so we'll set those here in a minute. What we need to do for our V-speeds, we're going to land flaps 30, double tap it. I also learned that instead of capturing it. Oh, I'm doing this without really showing you guys. Instead of capturing it here and then bringing it down here and putting it here, you just double tap. So if I want to do flaps 15, automatically changes right there, which is cool. I didn't learn that till day 9. So we're going to do flaps 30, 145 plus 5, we'll call it 150. And we're also going to set up a couple other things. We're going to skip back to our radio panel here. We want to make sure we do not have ILS in the active. And for the VOR, we want to make sure we're not actually going to have anything tuning automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw 116.0 in the VOR, 116.0. I'll flip that to active. ILSs are out. We don't want those up there. 116.0. Since we'll play Captain today, let's go ahead and set up the HUD. Now actually we have 3 different HUDs. We have a Rockwell Collins, what is it, 4 and 6,000, and then, or maybe it's 5 and 6, I don't know the numbers. And then we also have the BAE HUDs on our very early ships, which the BAE HUD to me actually looks better. It's less cluttered. I would love to see a BAE HUD. I know there's a HUD option on this, but I think it's just Rockwell Collins versions. I'd have to double check, but let's set this up. Runway touchdown elevation is going to be 430, so we're going to go elevation 430, enter, and then for the length in meters is going to be 3048. We'll enter that as well in the HUD. It will be a 3-degree path, and we'll be standby A3 arm. All right, so our HUD is set. We've done that. We've set our init ref. We also set our fixed info page, and we'll kind of step through this here. We'll go plan mode real quick, zoom the range down. We'll just verify our fixes here on the RNP. So we're actually going to start this at Fern. So I'm going to step down until Fern is centered. right there. So Fern is at 11,000 feet. Then it puts us off to a vector, and then Fern there. What I'm going to end up doing is we're going to end up deleting this and going direct to Fern on the RNP. That'll fix our VNAV a little bit. We'll step through PSP, a Jetty at or above 8, Ivali, Fimid, Glear. These are all in there. As a technique, what I'm going to do, I think we'll be on path just fine. I was going to make one of these altitudes a hard altitude instead of 2,500 or above. I was going to make it a hard 2,500, but I want to see how the PMDG handles with it planned as is. So a technique to do in case you're afraid of getting high, fast, can't slow down, what you would do is you would modify one of these altitudes, preferably one of the ones closer to the final approach point here, or maybe even Hax's, because it's still pretty dang close to the final turn of that arc. You would make that a hard altitude, and that would adjust your path and kind of put you on the lower part of it. But we'll see how PMDG handles. I've got a feeling she's going to get high, but we'll see. We'll see. It's just for testing purposes. So that's all been in the box. Final approach course. Even though we're not flying an ILS or anything that requires the course, good practice, we're always going to set our courses. So we're going to set 308 up here on both sides. .308 on both sides is set. And consider you guys self-brief. We'll have terrain mode up. That's all I got. No questions? Cool. We're going to do auto brakes 3. No questions. And let's go ahead and sync heading bug. And I'll tell you what, let's go direct to... Actually, I'm going to bring this Fern, put it on that Fern, so there's no vector. There we go. Fern on Fern action. All right. I like it. Let's look outside for a little bit and enjoy the river while we can. And actually, I want to set 11,000 right now on the window. Clear descent via. No descent after Ivali, it's telling me. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, for the arc, it's kind of an issue. I'll tell you what. Let's do Jokum, 2,300 hard altitude. Let's see what happens here. We'll make that a hard altitude. We'll see how she does. TOD in 58 miles. Sure, there's mountains on this side we can look at. Although the lighting looks better on this side. No more Mohammed flights? What does that mean? Will you be based at your preferred location? No. Not yet. I missed my preferred location by 1 number. Go figure. What time tomorrow? Bill's Mafia, good to see you out of the woodwork, my man. 4 p.m. Central is what I'm planning. I could schedule it now and then send you guys over there to Intellect, but just be ready. I'm planning 4 p.m., I think. 4 p.m. Central Time. Every new equipment needs a scratch. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Can we not scratch the new toys? I know, Turks. I know. Jaffo, the MD-11, I like it. I want to love it more. The sounds right now is kind of what... it's the only thing. The sounds and the cockpit, man. The textures on the overhead are great. It's the colors. I don't know if it's the colorization. We talked about it on our last stream. I'm sure you'll see it tomorrow. And I don't think it's just me. Whenever I look at other people's streams of the MD-11, it looks kind of washed out. So I know it's not just my setup. I think it's just the MD-11. The pilot view, the colors are kind of faded looking. But I do enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. There's still some quirks with the aggressive pitching and stuff that the airplane does that I'm pretty sure the real airplane wouldn't do, but it's still fun to fly. And I'm looking forward to our flight tomorrow. Thrustset says, looks like you don't have VHF 1 turned on. So VHF 1 is turned on. This is communicate and listen. This is just listen. So if I wanted to listen to 2, I would do this. Because I'm communicating and listening. This is just listen. So it is set up properly. MD-11 is great, no hating. You love it, Tim? You missed the 300 by 1 number? Oh, dang, dude. I love the MD-11. I feel like it's so close to being exceptional. I think that's what it is for me, Tim. It's like, if the sounds were a little more oomph, I think it would push it over the edge. I love the MD-11 so much I might bid for the 717 just to get a taste of the avionics. Now that would be something, dude. That would be something. Look at that beautiful Lone Star livery. You excited for the Delta 7-8? Yeah, in 10 years, dude. Listen, one thing I've learned about aviation and airliner stuff specifically, among other things, if it's not on the ramp, doesn't matter. You could have orders, you could have confirmed deliveries, you can have this, you can have that. If it's not on the ramp, it doesn't excite me. If I can see it on the ramp, all right, now I'll get excited. 717's, oh, we turned 10. Greetings from Lucky's Flying Service and Live Bait. Hey, good to see you, man. Wait for my B-107 overhead panel to ship February 25th. Ooh, very cool. Lucky's Flying Service and Live Bait. Live Bait for fishing? I love fishing. Where are you located? Airsoft 340 looks washed out from their previews. I haven't seen any Osco stick. Are there 340 Aerosoft previews? I haven't seen any. I have to look at that. What's the cause of the no descent pass after revolt? I've seen that before on some descents for other waypoints. That has to do with the programmed vertical path it's struggling to calculate between after EVALI. I think that's a... Does this tell me what software load this is? Doesn't. I wonder what this has got to be like. I'm not sure. Our oldest software load is 11. I think we have 11, 12, and 13. I think most modern airlines are on 13. There's some 12. All our Maxes are 13. We do have a lot of 12s, and we also have some 11s. But this particular software load is a much older load. If I'm not mistaken, I think we only have... We may not even have any more of these boxes. For a while, I was told that I thought we had a few of these with Climb Cruise Descent. But the last couple retrofits might have already been done. We may not even have this particular box. Why I purchased the PFP4. This is the 747 panel, which I absolutely love. This is all 100% just like the NGs now. It's inlet ref, departure arrival, ATC, VNAV, all that good stuff. It does the same thing as this box, just a little bit more streamlined and modern with the Maxes and stuff and with data link capability. But I've got to get that working with MobiFlight for the NG and the Pilot Autopilot panel. So right now, SimMap Pro just connects to everything and it's amazing. It's just, I don't have to do anything. Just turn it on, plug and play. I got to get my MobiFlight profile set up for that if I want to use the PFP4 panel with the NG. So But then it wouldn't work really with, I mean, it would work with the 737NG from PMDG, but just, I gotta do some customization that I don't really want to do right now. I suppose structural bearing problems are not a factor in a simulator. I doubt the MD-11 will ever fly again on the road. I think it is. I think it's going to be clear to fly this spring. Does the analog ADI look right to you? In VR, it looks, I don't know, it doesn't look right to you. The analog ADI. I mean, there's our top of descent. It doesn't look that wrong to me, but again, I'm not flying in VR, so. All right, down we go. Yeah, I don't think the MD-11 is done yet, man. They got that airplane can seriously can carry some serious cargo, so I don't think it's done just yet. Grumble, grumble, something about calling a plane a lawnmower to a plane maker. Executive faces grumble, grumble. Can you do me a favor? Yes. Disco the autopilot and hold down a trim switch while looking at your trim wheel. I want to see the behavior. Hold the trim button for 3 or 4 seconds. Do me a favor. Disconnect the autopilot, and hold down a trim switch. We're on a VNAV path, man. I don't want to screw it up. Look at the proving ground. We did. Are you talking about the STS? No, not the speed trim. Let's see. What does AA Ron want? You want me to disconnect it and hold the trim button. Where? Which way do you want me to trim? Let me get out of this turn. She's all trimmed out, man. I want to see it properly linear if there's a delay initially. Oh. Well, I could tell you by just pressing the trim button. Automatic. No, it works. It works fine. Command A. It works just like I would imagine. It's instantaneous. Instantaneous trim for me. The trim does move at 2 different speeds. It'll move at depending if the flaps are out too. To your point about nothing matters till it's on the ramp, Avela ordered a whole bunch of 190 E2s. I saw that, now I'm closing the bases. Did they order? I thought they ordered C series or 220s, John. I thought they ordered 220s. A single trim switch? Oh, you mean like one of these? I don't have these bound. I don't have the split ones bound. So like on the TCA Boeing, where you combine left and right trim switches, I don't have that bound. On my Bruner, I only have one physical switch, which that was something that was nice about the TCA Boeing yoke when you actually had 2 separate trim buttons. And X-Plane made that really easy to bind, which was pretty cool. So you could do it properly. All right, throttles in arm. We are on the path, chat. We're on the path. On our descent, down we go. Look at that beautiful sight. They ordered 50 E2s for real? Well, that's awesome. I thought it was 220s, but I love the E2. It looks awesome, man. Just simulating the captain's block of cheese hitting the trim switch. Yeah, don't hit the... Yeah, that's a lookout. The trim wheel. Watch your knees. So luckily, where I've been sitting, my leg rests right on this corner, so my knee doesn't hang over very frequently. But I could definitely see that where if you're... Yes, that trim wheel will smack the knees. Indeed. Drag required already. Ooh, we have a 20-knot tailwind. We did not put in the winds, so that is going to hurt us. The speed brakes don't do much on the 737, but we'll crack them anyway. The reason for 2 trim switches is for 2 systems and to avoid improper trim, so or inadvertent trim. So if one of these switches were to fail, you would not be able to move the trim. You have to move both of them at the same time, 2 separate trim channels. So every trim movement is backed up, right? We don't do anything with just one system unless you're Boeing and you make the MAX for the first time. Then you offer it with one AOA stall protection system. Where is the dinner going to go without the built-in table? That I'm still working on, Eamon Burke. It's 190 E2s for Velo. Wow. Well, the problem is going to be the engines, right? Because those Pratts are still suffering issues. Does the 7.3 have trim lockout? I think the engine was like if you hold the trim for 7 seconds, specific switch to disable the rest of the flight. No, it doesn't have a lockout, Flyby Tim. It has the, so a couple things about the trim. There's 2 micro switches in the yoke. And first and foremost, if either one of those micro switches is depressed, you cannot trim against it. So if the yoke is forward and I wanted to trim up, it wouldn't let me do it. Vice versa, wouldn't let you do it unless you turn the alternate stab trim switch into override, which is simulated and does work correctly in the PMDG. Then you can trim against pressures. You can press and hold the trim as much as you want until you get to the green band. Once you get to the edge of the green band, if you still want more trim, you got to use the manual trim wheel. But it won't lock out from you. Is anyone experiencing a blip delay trim behavior? Just delete the assignment of Microsoft and reassign it. It was an early bug that's been fixed, but you may need to reassign. All right, that's interesting, Aaron. That's good to know. So it's basically saying there's a bug in the initial blip, a half-second delay, and then it continues. All right. So if you have any trim issues, try rebinding it, says AA Rom. Good idea, my man. Let's go ahead and throw up the VSD on here, because why not? It's cool to look at. But you see how small this is? I feel blind. Where's my max? PMDG max when? All right, getting ready to go through transition. Oh, we never set our barrows. 3012. The barrow min is 718. $718 is set. Oh, they're synced, aren't they? Oh no, look. Okay, so you guys know the copy. So this is kind of a cool thing that you're not supposed to really do in the schoolhouse. But barrow set 718. First officer still at 200. Let's pretend that the barrow was actually like 4,500 feet. All right, it's a long way to scroll. These knobs for setting the barrow, the way they work, was new to me. Basically, it rotates about, I don't know, what does it rotate? I don't know, 45 degrees. And if you rotate it, say 20 degrees, you'll move in increments of 1. If you hit 45 degrees or a full rotation of the knob, it'll move it in tens. If you hold it down, it will accelerate. So it's easier than mouse wheeling it, but it is still very annoying. But there's a way to copy it over. What you can do is you come up here, you can go both on the display control panel. If you go both on one, back to normal, basically I've copied the barrow. See, 718, it will copy everything that's on the left display. Vice versa would be true. So let's say let's go ahead and let's scroll something else in there. Say, oh, my barrows are 600, and I look over and the FO's live. Nah, it's 718. Oh, okay, let's put both on 2, bring it back, and now I've copied over what he has there. So it's a way to copy data, copy and steal data. Kind of a neat little quirk that really has no business being simulated in a simulator, but once again, PMDG's got it simulated the way it works, so pretty neat. Little things like that, it's kind of cool to find out and test and see that they actually work. I mean, when would you ever use it in flight sim? No idea when. But you got to be careful, because if you have bad data, then you would copy over bad data. That's why you're really not supposed to touch those switches unless directed to by a procedure. But for sim purposes, it's fun. Eastern T3, my man, thank you for the 5 pounds. I appreciate you. How's the training going? Man, it's fun so far. Been fun so far. I go back on Friday when we get a snowstorm in Dallas. I'm going to cut my days off short, which is kind of sad because I'm going to get down there, but we'll see. Oh, why do we have the engine anti-ice on? We still have those on? Yeah, it's coming off. But Eastern T3, excuse me. I'm tickling my throat now. It's been good, man. I've enjoyed it. Instructors have been awesome so far. My first instructor was a different airline, flew for 35 years on the 707, DC-8, 727, L1011, 737, 76, 75. Then he was a trainer for a long time. Worked at another airline doing some management, and then he was my first ground and procedures training instructor. Then my second guy, super cool dude, 25 years Air Force test pilot, 20 years, 10 years, I can't remember how many years, a lot of years, maybe it was 10 years Air Force. Either way, he was 20 years as a civilian test pilot as well, worked for Bombardier before he was eventually put out of business by the C-Series being sold to Airbus. That eventually put him out of his job. And then he came and instructed for us. And you talk about the smartest guy in the room. Freaking test pilot for 20 years. The stories he had, being upside down, 41,000 feet in the Challenger, like all kinds of stuff that shouldn't happen. He had some really cool Air Force stories as well. He was a test pilot on the C-5 Galaxy. But very cool dudes. Training has been very good, very professional. It's been great, the whole thing. I really have no negatives other than we talk too much as far as briefings, in my humble opinion. And the test pilot agrees with me. Yeah, engine ANS was still on. I don't know why it was on there. All right, we're still on the path. We're on FMC speed, which is good. I'm going to see if she'll go ahead and do her own slowing down thing. But let's say for this particular moment, is there a speed restriction on the Star? On the Sizzler, it's Kirko. Yeah, we're fine. And Fern is at 11. Yeah, Fern's at 11. I'll tell you what, for traffic, Southwest 357, reduce speed now, 250 knots.
Palm Springs traffic, American 646, 11,000, 10 miles from Fern, RNF, Yankee, 31 left, Palm Springs.
Palm Springs traffic, Southwest 357, about, 15 miles from Fern, slowing to 250, setting up for the RNF, Yankee, 31 left, Palm Springs. All right, also out of 18, seatbelt sign is on, lights are coming back on. Let's do a descent checklist. Altimeters 3012, set, cross-check. I didn't set this yet. Sync, set and cross-check. Approach, preparation complete, pressurization check. Train display selected, lights are set, descent checklist is complete, chat. We are looking good. Tell me you, oh yeah, about the L1011. Yeah, dude, we talked. So the first day I show up, you're a little nervous. First day, new airline. First day for ground and procedures training, right? So you show up and you don't really know what to expect. I'm there a little bit early. I'll walk into the room after I found it. I'm starting flight recorder. Tell me I didn't just crash my sim. Whew. All right, starting flight recorder. It froze there for a second. Walk in. I see this gentleman who looks like he just got that look like, oh boy, this guy's gonna bring it. I better be ready to go. And then we get to talking and completely awesome. Just super nice, super funny. We talked for probably 45 minutes about the L1011 and completely unrelated stuff before we actually got started. It was great. It was really cool. But yeah, Aaron, we talked all about the L1011. He actually sat the flight engineer panel, and then he also sat in the right seat of the L10, and then he took a captain spot on the 7-3. But yeah, great airplane. We talked about the DC-10. Oh, the test pilot. We talked about because he had some experience with the KC-135, which is the MD-11 tanker, right? I think, whatever the military version is. And then, so we were talking all things about MD-11 versus KC-10, or excuse me, MD-11 versus DC-10 versus L-1011, and how the L-1011 was over-engineered and the far superior airplane, but the engines bankrupted that, and the airplane bankrupted Lockheed, which exited their move from the market, and how the MD-11/DC-10 was completely under-engineered. That's why it was just not very good design. Just found out my uncle was a flight engineer on the 727 L-10, then he flew 725. Oh my goodness. And now the Lear 45. Dude, Iceman, that's awesome, man. That's cool. I bet he's got some good stories, man. You gotta get him talking, you know? Sometimes the memory, you forget things, right? But if someone asks you a question, another reason why I love doing these streams, and when I was doing podcasts, why I like podcasts, is someone will ask you a question, you get to talking, it'll trigger a memory that you've suppressed. And then you're like, oh, I totally forgot about that. And then you can have those stories. I think we did, 20-something podcasts. And I can't even remember half of the ones we did already. But each one of those podcasts that I did had stories at the end of scenarios and things that happened to me along the lines. But yeah, get them talking. Get them talking, Joe Plains. All right, 8 for 11, Southwest 357, you're cleared RNP 31 left. So technically, we're cleared for the RNP to runway 31 left. I'm going to set Jokum 2300. We could actually set, you know what, scratch that. Let's set the minimum altitude. This is something new to me. We'll actually set 700 feet here in the barrow. So we are LNAV, VNAV path. We're FMC speed. And we're going to set 800 actually. We'll round up. We're going to set 800. And we're going to stay on the VNAV path on the way down. Now, there is traffic in front of us, so I'm going to continue slowing here. Hopefully we'll stay on the path here. Wow, look at those windmills down there. VNAV path, go get it.
Palm Springs, American 646, RNAV Yankee, slowing to about 210.
We are getting a crossover. And Palm Springs traffic, Southwest 357, 6 from Palm Springs on the RNAV Yankee 31 left at slowing to 210. I think he's got to be inside of us, yeah. Since we're going to be on an arc, I guess I'll sync my heading book for right now. Let's see what the HUD symbology looks like on a non-ILS here. We're going to just let her keep slowing down there. At or above 9,000, we're looking good. Three wine glasses deep, so that definitely loosened the memories. Nice, Joe Plains. Nice. Good afternoon, Captain. I pulled the L-1011 out of the graveyard and made it serviceable for the movie, The Langoliers. Nice, rough landings. My goodness, I am so pumped that we're getting an L-1011 for mini builds. Because after seeing what they did with the 340, I think the 350 had some issues. We all know it, at least not for me, but a lot of people, I see WASM crashes in the Discord and stuff. People still having issues with the 350. To me, the A340 for mini builds is their best release. And they've learned a ton. So going from the A340 now to the L10, I am getting very, very excited for their rendition of the L1011. Cannot wait. Especially after seeing the screenshot updates and everything they did. It looks amazing. All right, let's juice up the sounds here. I guess you guys want to see cockpit view, so we'll stay in cockpit view. We're slowing up here. All right, let's go ahead and select flaps 1, speed verified. Now we go into flap speed per the FMC, which you can see right here. That is correct. And let's go ahead and select flaps 5. Oh, there's that 727. And that 727 inbound we just crossed on the top here. You look good down there.
Are you on top of me?
I don't know. We just, we're on the RNP. I don't know what you're on. Oh, he's probably on the VOR. He's probably on the VOR. Oh, you know what? He might have done... No?
Nah, I just cut the turn too tight.
Oh, he cut it inside. All right. We're going to follow the full RMP for... I want to see how the NG does here. Was just in Palm Springs this past weekend. 5 million kids running around the hotel for various Martin Luther King weekend sports tournaments. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine, dude. All the ball fields and stuff that are out here. Must have been pretty wild.
And Palm Springs, American 646, short, final 311.
All right, I'll start the recording now in case we don't do a return leg. Time is 4 o'clock. How long did it take us? When did we start this? 2:15? Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. We'll probably end the stream here with one leg, and we'll do our long haul tomorrow.
Traffic southwest 1755 passing QB at 15,000.
Flaps 10, which, Aaron, I don't know if you're still here. I know we've had some discussion about what are abnormal flaps. Some operators don't use them. We use frequently every single flap except flap 2. So to clear that up, I know I said I speculated we use this, this, and this, or the book says this. I'm talking to guys on the line, they say, yeah, we use every single one except 2. It's the only one they skip. You can see we're in FMC speed. She's calculating 168 now perfectly. We're looking good. Palm Springs traffic, Southwest 357, just outside of Galeer on the RNP 31, making the turn base to final Palm Springs. All right, we'll just spin our heading around to 308. That'll be our final heading here out of the turn. I will say the trim wheel sound in the sim, I might get another recording for Borris. I feel like it sounds a little bit more bassy. I'm sure all trim wheels sound a little bit different, but what I was going to say is the sound of that trim wheel zipping, it's actually very cool. It's like I don't know, it makes you feel like you're attached to something that's living and breathing around you because it's making this noise that you're not even doing anything. You know, on the Airbus, the trim is silent when it's moving. You're just flying along, and it's nice. I like it. I was going to show up my first flight wired for Borris, I know. Tuba loops. The ground scenery is looking really good out here. I've totally forgot I had the Indian Builds Palm Springs, so we're gonna add this to our milk run of airports to fly in and out of.
Palm Springs, American 646.
It's a great airport.
Of 31 left.
And it kind of, I mean, look at that terrain out here. Imagine coming in here at night. Doing a night flight in here would be pretty sweet. Trying to get, you know, well, I can't really see the... You see how the VSD terrain... We're going to have to take the MAX down to South America, do an approach into Quito. Just look, I mean, see how kind of cluttered? It's kind of hard to see all that stuff, so I'm just going to go back to normal view here. All right, we're making that turn inbound, proceeding iPod. Max is 190. We're below that. We're looking good. Yeah, default scenery at two balloons. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. Some areas of the sim just have much better scenery than others. Better ortho. Phoenix has got one of the best in the sim. If you depart westbound in Phoenix and you look out the window, it looks real life. This is looking pretty dang good right here. I will admit, looking pretty dang good. Al Loper, I saw that. It's a paid update, right, Al? Count me out, brother. Miami is also very good, Osco. You're absolutely right.
Terrain, pull up.
What?
Terrain, pull up.
I didn't see that on the company pages.
Terrain, pull up. Terrain, pull up. Terrain, pull up. Terrain, pull up.
Oh, I hit the wrong one. I didn't say that on the company pages. All right, gear down, flaps 15, speed brake arm. Speed verified, flaps 25. Look at her flying all the way down, perfect. Flaps 30, before landing checklist. I forgot the above the lines to approach. We did all that. Recall, check, raise, play, speed brakes, arm, green light, flaps, 30 green light, gear down, green light, checks complete. All right, look at that. Oh, it's coming off. All right, I'm not gonna fly the HUD on this one because I do get to do some HUD work, but the majority of my training is going to be on the actual PFD. 3-1 left in sight, Palm Springs traffic, Southwest 357, about a 3-mile final, 3-1 on the left, Palm Springs. We got everything in sight that we need to see. Flight directors are coming off. Auto throttle is coming off. My throttles. We're inside the missed approach altitude. We'll set 4,000. Get a straight up practice visual here. Should be 144, 149 would really be where we need to be. Big displaced threshold here.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Floyd. Manual brakes. 60. Yeah, Southwest 357 clearing runway 35 left taxi to the ramp. Palm Springs. All right, flaps up. After takeoff checklist.
Southwest 1755, 10 mile final, 3-1 left.
Almost running out of runway? Nah, we're fine. Probably should have done a... I don't think that was a standing... Is that a standard landing assessment on that runway? Probably not, because it's 10,000. I forgot about the displaced threshold. Probably should have been auto brakes max on that one, but nah, we're fine. Auto brakes 3. Plenty of time. Is it standard for you guys? All right, so it's probably standard for us. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be. I mean, unless you're light, you might make Juliet here, right? You're probably not going to make Gulf. Unless you're really light at 319, maybe. I don't know. You guys make Gulf? If you're not going to make Gulf, it's either Juliet or Kilo is really where you're going to turn off at. So, auto brakes 3 worked out. Let's do it after crash. So, flaps up, no light. Auto brake is off. Flight directors are off. Would you like the APU, Captain? I would. APU's coming up. Wing lights, strobe steady lights. Take it to the ramp. We'll stop the recording. Ooh, chat. I had to take a sneak peek at Valanta landing rate. What do you guys think that was? What do you guys think that one was? What are your guesses on that landing? That one was pretty good. The sim time has paid off. Now wait till I get to the... My instructor's like, coming from the bus, your landings are going to go one of two ways. You're either going to have terrible landings in the sim throughout your training and have some decent ones on the line. Said, or you're going to have great landings in the sim, and then you're going to have some absolute bone crushers on the line. So I said, it's really the only two options you got. I said, well, what about really good landings in the sim and really good landings online? He's like, far and few between, my friend. Far and few between. We'll take Whiskey 2, take it in next to the 727. Which one am I? I don't know yet. He's Aaron. I'm thinking, I'm getting nervous because my sim landings seem to be pretty good, so that's making me nervous for a reality check. Caroline's, yeah, this is Ivao, I-V-A-O. Golly, I love the Lone Star one. Alright, well, there's our 7-2. We'll park next to him. Yeah, but you have Microsoft training. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not holding my breath. Let's see, I wonder if we can we sneak in there? Yeah, he's on that gate, so we'll take gate 9. There's another. We'll park at gate 9. We'll probably be able to catch this guy's landing. Did I select 700 vodka? I might have accidentally selected 700. My sim partner, he's a captain upgrade, never been a captain before.
Traffic,
His taxing is quite hysterical. It's fun to give him grief because he gives me grief all the time. That means you're good partners, that's what it is. You're constantly giving each other grief in the sim. I've been taxing airplanes for, I've been quite a captain for 10 years, but enough that I kind of know the little nuances about, you know, when you're going to lead on, lead off. He's having a hell of a time leading up the, or lighting up the airplane on the runway. He gave me one the other day. I added thrust and almost went off the freaking runway because it pointed 45 degrees cockeyed. All right, here comes this Southwest. Is he down? Oh yeah, not bad. Not bad. Alright, we are on APU power. So shut down engines. So we'll do our shutdown engine flow. Those are coming off. Transponders coming off. Anti-collision lights coming off. We'd throw the APU bleed on right now. Let's go ahead and turn off window heat, probe heat, electric hydraulics, emergency exit lights.
Palm Spring traffic, Southwest 1755, clear through 1
belt sign, captain would have got those. We'll leave the fuel pumps on because we got to do our replay. Very cool. All right, so official landing report. I mean, nobody, let's see, 6940, nobody guessed it. Bill's Mafia was the closest. According to Valanta, that touchdown was 32 feet per minute. 32 feet per minute. Let's see how real, let's see if we believe that or not. So what I'm going to do is I'll disconnect. It's been an honor flying with you, gentlemen. Alright. There goes our 7-2. We'll disconnect.
Muchas gracias.
That's loud. We're disconnected. I'm going to move the start levers to run. I'll put the gens online. Oh, we can't do that yet. I'm going to just arm that. We'll get those hydraulics on. Get our lights back on for replay. I know you can do the state saving, but this actually works just fine. So I believe if I go replay, fire. Engines come back to life. Yes, they do. We'll run this one forward. Park brake is off, park brake is off. Let's go to the replay. It's going to be 320 IRL since you mastered the sim landing. Probably, AJ. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. Do you guys go to that view IRL to make sure you stop the correct spot at the gate? Yeah. No, we have... So in the sim world, we actually have marshalers and everything. It looks just like GSX, to be honest with you. I actually posted a screenshot of it. That's flaps 15. 2530. The sounds are just so clean, man. Alright, let's run this forward here because we'll leave a long replay for the end. Until I hit the line, probably mid-February. Probably mid-February. Fly to live, man. Fun flying along with you, man. Looks like you had a pretty good landing yourself. We'll do the last replay at sunset. Sandman, yeah, this scenery is awesome. Indie builds. This is one I bought a while ago. Indie builds Palm Springs. I just forgot because they had a 24 native. Ground textures look real good. Look at that runway. You can tell we've got the short field performance pack on this because the spoilers are all the way up. If you see them where they're split kind of like I can't do it. Kind of like that. That's a non-short field performance when they're all like that right there. Let's take a look. Just kissed her on. Could have even flared a little bit more. You gotta be careful not to drive the mains home there. Let's pause it. Let's rewind it to touchdown right about there. Let's do this. So reset the camera. We want to get a good flyby of this one. Let's go off. Follow you around. You missed the entire approach, King 6? What are you new here, my man? Alright, let's do right about yonder. Lock it, drive it back. Sounds up. Flaps 40 is used for landing, 100%, yeah. Just depends if you want it performance-wise or not. Just a kiss. Got to love it. Alright. Let's listen to that brake squeak one more time. We're going to get out of here. Nope, wrong theme song there, Chief. Oh. Yay, Jeff F. Oh yeah, Fabiano replay for the outro. Of course, my man. Of course. All right, y'all. Only one leg today. Only one leg today. We're gonna wrap it up right there. But tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central. So right about this time. If you want to fly along, we're planning on doing an MD-11 long haul. It's gonna be about 5 hours. Tokyo Narita to Kai Tech, and I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit scared because I've had zero practice. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to make that final turn. Are we gonna be flaps 50, flaps 90, whatever it is in the MD-11? I don't know. So be looking for that stream. It'll be coming at you tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in for the last minute stream here in the 7.3. Thank you for listening to me blabber. It's kind of cool though, you know. Remember we started streaming like a month ago. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. We're gonna find out together. Now we're kind of clicking. So I hope you've enjoyed this transition as I continue to learn about the 7.3 and go through the training. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See you. Yeah, we forgot to do our debrief. What went well, what went right, what could we do better? Consider yourself briefed. We love our briefings.